During the Second World War, civilian homes became soft targets in ways most people today rarely consider. Blackouts erased visibility, police resources were stretched thin, and neighbourhoods faced the risk of looting, sabotage and opportunistic crime. Waiting to react at the door was not an option. Civil defence planners responded with a deceptively simple move that changed the balance before an intruder ever reached the house. It did not rely on force, alarms or technology. It relied on certainty. The certainty that an approaching person could not remain unseen, unheard or unsure of being detected. That single principle, when applied consistently, outperformed locks and bars and still outsmarts modern burglars who depend on speed and stealth. During the war, home defence wasn't really about standing your ground physically, but rather about disrupting the decision-making process of would-be intruders. You see, burglars are successful when they can quietly assess the risk. They approach, they listen, they observe, and then, well, they make their choice. But civil defence doctrine, it aimed to take that choice away entirely. By designing homes and their approaches to signal detection early on, and really in a way that couldn't be mistaken, civilians managed to deny intruders the confidence they needed to go any further. The idea here, wasn't about stopping someone physically. It was about forcing them to give up the attempt before they even truly committed. That lost move, as it was called, was all about deliberately reversing the intruder's sense of uncertainty. Instead of homeowners wondering whether someone was outside, the system ensured the person outside wondered whether they had already been seen or heard. This was achieved through layered cues that activated automatically when someone approached. Sound, exposure and timing worked together so that, the approach itself became a signal. Once uncertainty flipped, the psychological advantage shifted permanently to the occupant. During World War II, guidance really emphasized the importance of unavoidable noise, especially at a distance from the house. It was, a way to be aware of your surroundings without drawing too much attention. Gravel paths, for example, were often extended well beyond the doorways, not for decoration, but to increase the acoustic range. Loose stones would announce the weight of a person long before they reached the door. Gates, too, were deliberately designed to creak rather than glide. And, hinges were left unlubricated on purpose. All these little details created a sort of early warning system, if you like. But, you see, these sounds weren't alarms in the modern sense. They were more like confirmations, subtle signals that someone was approaching rather than blaring warnings. It's a different way of thinking about security, really. An intruder could not test them quietly. Each step increased the chance of exposure, and, most attempts ended there. Sound alone was not enough. Homes removed concealment near entrances and windows. Hedges were trimmed back, corners squared, and shadow pockets eliminated. In blackout conditions, shielded exterior lighting aimed downward illuminated approach zones without revealing the interior. Anyone moving toward the house entered visible space while occupants remained unseen. This imbalance created immediate doubt. The intruder could no longer confirm invisibility, which, you know, is just essential to modern burglary. Once detection seemed likely, timing collapsed. Burglars rely on rapid assessment and exit routes. World War II systems delayed approach just long enough to make retreat feel safer than advance. The longer someone remained exposed, the greater the perceived risk of witnesses, neighbours or wardens. No confrontation was required. The environment made the decision. Now, let's begin by extending audible surfaces outward from entrances, rather than placing them only at the threshold. It's important to ensure that gates and secondary access points produce sound when they're moved. Also, maintain clear lines of sight around doors and windows, and, avoid dense landscaping that could create concealment. Use exterior lighting that illuminates approach areas while at the same time keeping interiors visually dark at night. The goal here isn't brightness, but contrast. These measures work continuously and, require no reaction time at all. Cameras and alarms. They spring to life only after an approach has already occurred. You see, they document intrusion rather than prevent it. Back in World War II, the move worked earlier in the timeline, when an intruder was still in the process of deciding. It was all about targeting behaviour, not just the breach itself. Modern burglars? Well, they expect technology, don't they? But what they do not expect are environments that deny stealth completely. It's quite the twist, really, when reality doesn't match up to their expectations. Civil defence authorities refined this approach through observation rather than theory. Neighbourhoods that adopted layered detection saw fewer incidents. Modern burglars are faster, but no less dependent on uncertainty. The moment they believe they may already be detected, their advantage disappears. Environmental cues that worked in 1942 still exploit the same human decision-making processes now. The tools have changed, the psychology has not. The lost World War II home defence move outsmarted intruders by reversing uncertainty before a door was ever touched. It relied on design, awareness and psychology rather than force. For history enthusiasts and preparedness-minded viewers, it stands as one of the most elegant civilian defence solutions ever developed. If this guide added lasting value to your understanding of wartime ingenuity and practical security, subscribe to the channel, share this episode with others who respect proven knowledge, and help ensure these lessons are not forgotten again.